Oh, we're live now. What happened?
Oh,
Oh, hey, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let me go check if I loaded that in or not. I did, haha, but I didn't select it. That's what happened. So I'm going to select it now,
okay.
and then it won't work because we've already started. So, hey, everybody. Welcome, Meeps. Welcome back. It is Sen, and I am here with my handy-dandy co-hosts, Kat and George. However, they are not where they used to be. They are somewhere else entirely. But today we're back in the saddle, but we're also here to say goodbye, which is kind of a weird thing, right? So I took a hiatus for the month of November to get some papers marked because there's a lot of papers that needed to be marked and they weren't getting marked, and so it was a good time. And then George was busy doing what George was doing. And George, what were you doing in November?
Just moving. Finalizing the getting our everything in our house out of our house, and then getting myself on. Really.
Oh, you came back. Come back.
Oh no.
So everything in your house, out of your house.
Yes.
Yes. And Kat, what were you doing at this time?
So I've basically for the last 6 months been moving back and forth between Europe and the UK, continental Europe, so the EU and the UK. Since Brexit, they don't have the same set of rules, which actually is quite handy for me,
Right.
because the Schengen allowance gives me 30 out of every no 90 out of every 180 days that I can stay here visa free. And then in the UK, I have 6 months to the year. So I had more time in the UK than I did here, and I was running out of Schengen, so I had to go and hang out in Edinburgh, which is a pretty sweet place to go if you have to go somewhere. I had a really cool time.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting thing about international moves and visas and not visas and travel visas and work visas and all that kind of stuff, is that sometimes you'll just hear your international friend is like has to leave the country for like 24 hours or something like that just to like reset the cycle again, right? So you are currently where though?
We're currently in Prague. This
Right.
is our apartment. So the way it works when you're applying for long-term visas is you do actually have to have real accommodation. So we had our house in the US that George was in. We had this apartment that we were paying for, and then we had wherever I was staying in Edinburgh or in Prague, which was either here or in an Airbnb or something. So for a while, we had to pay for 3 sets of accommodation.
Wow.
Yeah, a while being since 3rd of June or so. We were paying for 2 sets, and then from August or so, we included the UK as well. So they deliberately, obviously, make these things difficult. And I know a lot of people who don't have the financial privilege to do that have to take some slightly less legal paths and just try and overstay. But
like not illegal, but extra legal.
Yeah. And to me, if you're in the process of, like, in my head, once I've put in a visa application, leaving the country seems like the wrong thing.
Well, there are definitely visas that some people are on where they can't leave the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's very confusing. But when you're going from a Schengen allowance to a working visa, like I was, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah. And
well,
so,
I mean, you have to if you overstay or stay at that length, right? It's so weird.
Yeah. Yes. If you overstay now, you'll probably get caught. If you leave the country, if you arrived and then you leave at any point, because they have a new system for tracking it a lot better, which is like that you get your passport scanned and it's not just someone with a stamp anymore. The system's a lot more complex. Right. I mean, even then, those people were doing their best, but people were getting away with it. Now I don't think you're going to get away with it as much. Yeah.
Right. It's just not. It's just not a good idea.
We decided not
International,
to take that risk, no.
yeah, international visa laws are. You could find yourself like untethered, like completely roaming
Yeah,
free.
We didn't really have a plan B if we get kicked out of here. So we
Yeah.
figured not getting kicked out of here was a good plan.
Especially once our stuff was all on a
Yes.
shipping, like in a shipping container on a boat on its way to Europe.
Well, you're kind of pot committed at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've kind of gone all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the story so far, George in November was packing up the house. Kat in November was going between places in the UK and Prague. And while you were there, you were doing work, or you were game related stuff, right? So what were you doing game related, Kat?
So officially, Drayer Ink was contracted to work for CGE,
Right.
and I was representing Drayer Ink in that aspect. And then once I got my actual visa, which came into effect as of yesterday, I officially worked for CGE as me. So I am now officially allowed to work in Europe, well, specifically in the Czech Republic, very specifically for CGE.
Okay,
So
cool.
I've been working in localization. My official role is localization coordinator. So that means for like all of these games behind me, I was part of the team that was checking the rule books, making sure that the contents in, I must look up how many languages we publish in. I think it's 47 languages that we publish in. So I'm comparing to make sure that it's printed in the correct language, that
That's
it's got the
important.
correct content, all that stuff.
Yeah. Right. So localization,
Mm-hmm.
and partnerships and things like that for people who don't know what that means. What does it mean?
Basically, we will have a game. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to grab one from behind me. So Westwood, which is one that this is actually the game that made me want to work for CGE in the first place. I got to play the prototype and was like, oh, I love this. So this will have initially been published in English. And then what we'll do is we will work with our group of partners and they'll say, okay, yes, I'm interested in carrying that game. They will participate in the costs in terms of translation and things like that. So we'll send them a file. They'll send back the correct words. We will put that into our graphics, I suppose, like our graphic files, and they'll make sure that it all reads correctly and looks right. And I'll make sure that it's got bold in the right place and all those sorts of things, and that we're not overlapping on pictures and things. And then all of that gets printed. I check that the print is all set up correctly and so on, and then the game comes out in Dutch or German or Thai or Korean or Estonian, Latvian, Lithuanian.
Right. These are all different languages, right?
These
Even
are
though
all
some of them
languages that we
have
publish in.
different bases or similar bases, they're different languages. So, in terms of publication, does CGE take care of all the printing of all language partner stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have our own, well, as I understand it, we have our own factory, or we have an agreement with a factory that is basically our factory, if you like, in Europe.
It prints a whole lot of CGE stuff. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
like 99% of what they print is CGE.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so that's part of my role as well, as interacting with them and making sure that the proofs that I send to them are the proofs that they're going to print and all of those sorts of things. So they send me back things. I have to check the size and printing quality and all that kind of thing. And off it goes into the world.
And that makes total sense for CGE, right? Because
Yes.
CGE games, A, you have access to or a very strong relationship with the printer, but B, the games that CGE typically makes aren't multilingual friendly, right? There's usually a lot of card text. And so I'm just thinking about experiences that I've had with other publishers for, like, say, junk art. Junk art is in, like, I don't know, 17 languages, but in one box, that kind of thing, right? Because you don't you don't need language on the cards. There's no reprinted things except for the rules. And so they said, well, we'll just make a multilingual rule book. So it's interesting to hear that CGE, because of the games that it makes, and also because it has access to a printer, they're doing it all separate boxes, and then making sure they take care of that quality control as well, and then shipping it out. Because localization can be done in a lot of ways. I know that a lot of times, if you don't have access to your printer, if maybe you can't like bulk up your print run, or you don't have a game that can be easily done in a multilingual format, oftentimes when you get a language partner, you're actually just giving them the files and they're doing the printing wherever they want to do the printing. And that means you can't control quality. That means that they could abuse that and print like 4,000 copies instead of the 2,000 that they agreed to and they paid the license for, right? So
Mm.
that's a really good way to, seize the means of production, or at least control the means of production, right? Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
So, we have a couple people here saying, lurking for dinner, but best wishes to Kat and George. That's
Thank you.
deadpan. And then Luke is saying, is there going to be a Meeple Syrup Europe show? Like we can franchise the brand, and you could do a Meeple Syrup show at like a different time, a
It would need to
European
be a
time.
different condiment. Um,
Yeah, what
That's
would it
fair,
be?
yeah, because that's a Canadian flavor.
Totally a Canadian flavor.
Mm.
Is there a good meeple word in like
mm,
Czech? I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's going to have something to do with dumplings.
or sausages. Or,
Because,
It's
oh
all
yes,
dumplings all the time.
yes,
And
we're
what are the dumplings of your people now? I like
oh
dumplings
my
though.
goodness, so many amazing. Like it's, I still can't pronounce the word quite correctly, but I think it's nedliki. My
Oh, I think I've actually had that. I know.
they're like a bready dumpling
Yeah,
rather than the ones that are more like gyoza, where it's like
yeah,
a
like
thin.
filled with something. Yeah.
So these are more of a bready dumpling, but you
Hmm.
get ones that have meaty fillings, ones that have fruity fillings, cheesy fillings. So they're like in the same way as pierogi. And
Yeah,
to be fair, the Czech Republic have their own version of pierogi as well,
yeah, that makes
which is
sense.
pronounced slightly differently. But yeah, I mean, dumpling heaven. And then also there are so there are stuffed ones, but there are also ones that they slice up and will serve with a variety of different dishes that have a lot of sauces.
Right, so
Um,
you use them to like sop up the sauce.
Yes,
mm,
and there are three main types of those. There's a bready, like a purely bready one, which is like a very soft roll,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a very light one. Then there's a potato dumpling, which is sort of more glutinous,
Mm-hmm.
a bit heavier. And then there's my favorite, which in English we would generally call a Carlsbad dumpling, as in Carlsbad, which is actually Karlovy now. And Karlovaris Gova, I think. No, I've got it wrong again. I can't do it in Czech yet. My Czech is a bit crap.
That's
And
okay.
then that's beyond dumplings. There are soups and stews, and it's
Soups and
amazing.
stews and dumplings in my tummy.
The food is so good.
That's great.
And
Uh,
bread is a very important part of the culture too. Like,
right. Yeah.
very important.
And the cost of living is it high? Is it low? Is it medium?
um, if you, aside from like purchasing pre-prepared food and that sort of thing, it's relatively cheap. It's particularly good if you're bringing money from outside.
Right.
Yeah,
But we're in the most expensive
part of town.
part of town. We're in the most expensive part of the country
Yeah.
as well, because we're in
Right.
Prague.
Yeah.
And other Czech people regularly talk about how expensive Prague is, whereas I'm busy going,
Oh
wait,
my
that
god, it's
whole
so
meal
cheap.
was only that? So for me, the meals are very inexpensive, particularly
Yes.
because the portions are generous. They're not stupid, but
Yeah.
like you're getting a really good meal for, I'd say, around about, they average somewhere around about 300 krona, which is like,
$15.
yeah, $10 to $15,
For
and
a
you're getting
good
like a,
size meal,
yes,
right?
and there's no tipping culture. Like it is common to round up.
Right.
So if your meal was like 350, you might tell them to make it
Yeah.
400. So that's a 50 krona tip. It's
Nothing.
nothing. But that's because people do get paid properly in proportion to the living expenses and things
Right.
here. This
Right.
is a country where your taxes pay for a lot of your medical needs and things, and yeah.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Oh, we have Neftali.com from Northland, New Zealand,
Oh,
calling in. Luke is suggesting the Meeple Borscht Show. That doesn't make sense. Totally different country, buddy. Oh, Dee Dee is saying, I'm so happy for you two and jealous. Yeah, that healthcare's that's something to be jealous of, right? Oh, America. All right, so I think we're kind of caught up a little bit, right? Are we all caught up? Where's your cat, by the way? Where's Loki?
uh, is he still here? Yeah, he's just there. Loki will generally interrupt when we don't want him to interrupt, but
But
he
we want him
will.
to interrupt. Hello.
Now he's like, I'm doing my own thing actually.
Yes.
Hello,
And
small boy.
how was the move for good old Loki?
Oh yes.
He was. I mean, he doesn't like new things, so he was a bit. The first couple days, he was very much an under the bed kind of cat, but
Yeah.
he has warmed up relatively quickly after that. He's surveyed his domain and has attempted to go out the front door more
Oh,
than once, so that's a good sign in a sense.
I guess, yeah.
It's
He's
comfort. I
he's
mean,
deemed it worthy of him, King Loki has.
Yes.
yeah.
So the way that Loki got here actually is very different from yes, from the way that he there he is, from the
Oh,
way that he got to the US. So
right.
they were brought, I think, in the hold
Yeah.
over to the US.
Right.
He was, because there's a different level of requirement, I think, but also because we weren't sure where we were going to be able to have them. So this was when we had two cats and a dog. The two older ones have since passed away, but
Yeah.
they were very old. So yeah, but Loki got to come over with his dad in the plane
Oh,
under the sea.
fancy that. So Loki is like better traveled than some humans right now, basically.
I mean,
Quite a
yeah,
few, yeah.
he was born in New Zealand.
Zealand.
He's lived in the US,
Yes,
and now
and
he's
now
in Prague.
there you go. And I'm sure because of Europe, you'll hopefully take Loki about with you to
Yeah.
see other things.
We'll see how comfortable he is traveling. But yeah, we don't need a car in Prague. The public transport is fantastic.
Yes.
Right, which is another huge difference between car culture in North America, the infrastructure that we haven't necessarily invested in quite so well, and also I think like a little bit of there's a little bit of a stigma in North America
Mhm.
towards public transit, right? Where it's like only the plebeians take public transit and fancy people take their car, but in Europe and in lots of other parts of the world, everybody, professionals, doctors, lawyers, politicians, whatever, will take public transit because it's just the norm, right?
It's just what you do.
It's
Yeah, I mean,
here.
it was very normal for us to get, for everyone to get the bus in New Zealand.
Hmm.
Like, it was a novelty for me to drive to work.
Yeah.
Once I got a car, like, I didn't need a car until I was in my 30s.
Did that novelty wear off fast?
No, because for quite a while, one of my friends got a free car park as part of her work,
Oh,
and she didn't need it, so I got
so
to use
you took
hers.
it. There you go.
Yeah, and then we moved out to an area where we really needed to drive from there, so that
Yeah,
ended up
true. I
being
mean,
what we did.
at some point you might need to drive, but like I saved so much money during the pandemic, like not
Mm.
having to drive to work. There was I was looking at my bank statement. There's like an extra $20,000 or something ridiculous in my bank at the end of the year. It's because like, oh, that's 52 weeks of not having to pay for gas or whatever, right? However much money it was, and because I drive to conventions and whatnot, and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot.
well, yeah, but it's two cars, and it's
Yes, yeah.
right,
I
and
was
we were
just trying to
and we
factor.
drive like because we have kids, right? So Cats are a little bit easier. You don't need to drive them around, but kids, like we were taking them to soccer and martial arts and all these things all over the city, and then nothing. So it was just this whack of savings that I eventually I think I spent on something else. Okay, so oh hey, look at this. Speaking of cats, I just want to show you guys this. This is the new game from me and David Killing. This is cats knocking things off ledges,
Yeah,
published by the
like
Op.
you've done.
Yeah, so this is not out in stores yet. This is a pre-copy that I'm using to write an article about. And so, anyways, it's a dexterity game because I was talking about junk art before.
Oh,
So David and I made this game where you play as cats knocking things off of ledges, hence the name. And you score points based on how high you build the tower, the cat tower, and you push stuff off, but it still lands on another ledge. So the distance
oh,
between the ledges, so you're trying, like this guy would be trying to land it here because that
right.
would score more points than here.
So
Anyways,
it's still on a ledge, but it's the furthest away.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You can't go all the way to the ground. That's not a challenge.
What I was just looking up then was on the public transport app that we
Oh
use.
yeah.
So, what's super cool is you just use one app and it gives you unlimited. If you buy the passes, it gives you unlimited access to all public transport. So I can get the metro, the trams, the bus, whatever I want. And I was just calculating what my annual cost for that is. So I bought the annual pass for 3,650 krona.
Which is about
That's about 176 US dollars.
okay.
So that is unlimited access to all public transport for all of Prague and like outer Prague for the entire year.
Greater Prague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just compared to that 20 grand.
Right.
I know that wasn't just, but I was like, oh. And we have no parking costs. We hired a car to go to a weekend. So like I came back on the 26th of November.
Right.
On the
from Edinburgh?
From Edinburgh, yes. So that was a bit of an adventure, which I can tell you about in a sec. But that weekend, the reason I came back early was because, one, I wanted to be back for Thanksgiving, even though we don't really do Thanksgiving, but it's our new thing we're going to do. And
it's so funny. So there's a person who doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And a person who grew up celebrating Thanksgiving in a country where nobody celebrates Thanksgiving. Okay, I got it.
Yes.
Painting a picture for myself.
George didn't grow up with Thanksgiving, really, did you? You didn't really do it?
No, we did.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. You keep telling me you did. Anyway, no, whatever.
I didn't after I moved out of the house.
Okay, that makes sense.
You personally said, screw that.
It is weird making a turkey for yourself and also, attachment
it is. I don't blame you.
The idea, the concept on its surface of, giving thanks on a given day, good. The baggage of that holiday.
Yes, the whole not so good.
Yes.
Yes.
So given that I don't have any of the baggage associated with it, and it happened to align with the day that I finally got to come back to Prague.
That's thanks. That's so it's now an anniversary for that as opposed to Black Friday and football.
We've kind of So we've sort of reformulated that for ourselves.
So
but
I do have to ask you, Kat, have you ever what do you think about like sweet potatoes with like marshmallows? Or green beans with marshmallows?
I've tried both. I find it a lot. But we found a variation on that.
What was the variation?
So what I do is, what we do is we roast a sweet potato in its skin.
Yep.
And then we break the skin and scoop everything out, mix it with a bit of butter and a lot of mixed nuts and some dried cranberries.
Yep.
And maybe a tablespoon of tiny marshmallows. And a little bit of brown sugar, maybe, or something like that, and mix that back in, and then put that back in to finish roasting and browning, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's close enough to that flavor profile, so it's got that sort of other stuff going on.
Extra
but I don't really like pumpkin pie or anything like that either, so that
I'm not a pumpkin pie fan.
Close enough.
Not a lover of like PSL. Like it's just not a thing for me.
Mm-mm.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah, it took me a
No,
second.
I'm
Yeah.
allergic to ginger, and pumpkin spice mixtures generally have ginger as well. So
Oh, that makes sense. That's sad. Ginger is like one of my favorites of things, but
it means that like
you get
I
to
can
breathe
have
and
maybe
live.
one gyoza, maybe
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
and then we're like at the very risky point. Anyway, the reason that I was coming back early
Right.
instead of waiting was because we had a weekend thing for CGE that I wanted to go to,
Yeah. Like an
which is
event, like a
it's
corporate
called
event.
Poyuch, which basically means celebration, but it's like the
Mhm.
pre-Christmas get together, and we spend the weekend playing games.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Lovely.
But we have Loki, and so we didn't want to stay overnight, so we hired a car so we could
Right.
drive out there
With Loki.
all day, drive home. No, drive home too.
Oh. Oh.
He doesn't like being in the car very much, so
Or
we
new
let
places.
his
We found that
pets
out.
are generally okay on their own overnight anyway. They're not
Yeah.
like dogs, but we didn't want to do that to him
So
right
early.
after I got here.
Yeah. I do like that cats are independent like that, but I am like allergic to them, so
Oh,
I don't
I'm
like
sorry.
that about them. It's okay. It's just like I really like cats,
Yeah,
but I really shouldn't touch them much. Is basically
and the
the
same with
rule.
dogs. So
Yeah, it's
having a
like,
dog was
oh, this is not good for me, and I'm gonna not breathe well for the next hour or two. So that's cool. So okay, so you're in Prague. You
yes,
have your cat. This is
yes,
good. You have
yes,
your George. This is
yes,
good.
yes.
George, what are you doing now?
I'm doing much what I did in the States, other than I'm not packing anymore. So I
Right.
still have the same job,
Okay.
which is nice. It's the hours are different. It's sort of like noon to 8, which is ironically pretty much the same hours I was working when I moved from New Zealand to the States and kept that job. Somehow this
Right,
is
right,
just like
right. Yeah,
worked out
that's
for me.
true.
I yeah,
You're
it's
just an
actually
international man of mystery. And by mystery I mean I never know when you're awake or asleep or working or not. You're just doing stuff,
sometimes I don't either. So yeah, that's
right?
I mean, to be fair, it is like 3:30 a.m. right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So okay, so you're based in Europe, but you're working for the US based company?
yes, currently.
Okay. And is that something that you hope will switch at some point? Like you're gonna look for a local
I mean,
job?
I like the
No?
job. The
Yeah.
money's good. And it is really nice to wake up in the morning and like go for a walk and make breakfast and
Yeah. And then not
hopefully
have to
eventually,
like rush to work.
ideally finding like I haven't found a jujitsu gym yet around here because I know I'm gonna have to leave in like a month to save up my Schengen for the same thing the cat did. So like,
Oh, right, right,
so
right,
I
right.
have some I want to try out, but I'm not gonna like try to invest
Just
in a membership.
drop
In
in fees.
3 weeks
Drop
ago.
in fees, bro. That'll be okay.
So I scouted out some gyms in Edinburgh as well.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I will be there fairly
Quite a bit
consistently.
over there. And then and it's also I guess nice getting paid in USD, right? So
Yes,
that's
will
that's
it will be
a
considerable.
very good bonus.
that kind of money is not common here.
Right.
The cost of living is lower, the cost of accommodation is lower,
Therefore,
salaries are often lower as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
But all livable wages.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We pay more tax, but we get more for it.
Yeah. Very interesting. All right. So game design wise, what's up for Drayer Ink now that you guys are located in Europe? Are you going to the European conventions? I obviously, Kat, maybe for your job you will. But what about Drayer Ink as the dynamic design duo that we all know and love? What's happening?
So I got to go to Essen with CGE, which
Right.
was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really cool to work a big booth like that.
Oh, and you have to let people know just how big are the booths.
I think this was so we had 2 booths this year, and I think we had a 20 by 30 meter booth.
That's so multiply that by 3 American.
It was big. It was like
feet.
house size. Both
Yeah.
of the booths were like it was enormous, and it was packed. Like
Yeah,
packed.
it's to the gills, right? It's like wall to wall people.
I mean, the line went. We had like one of those zigzaggy
Wrapping,
line
yeah,
things
wrapping
inside
around.
the booth, and then it went all the way around, and apparently it kind of went around again.
You just never saw that. You were stuck in the
Yeah,
booth.
well, I mean, apparently we were making a sale every 15 seconds for the
What
entire.
was the big CGE title at Essen this year?
The two big ones were the expansion for SETI,
Yeah, I was gonna say SETI must have
and
been doing okay.
so that was the Space Agency's expansion,
Hmm.
and the Alnak, the latest Alnak expansion,
Right,
which
right,
listed
right, right.
cards, and the big box adventure chest,
Hmm.
and our brand new release of
The one that you
Westwood,
were talking about before, yeah.
which honestly was that was a bit of a slow burn at first because people had heard of SETI and Alnak because they're coming for
Yeah,
expansion,
yeah,
and then they got to play Westwood over the time, and then by the end we'd sold out of like almost everything,
yeah, it's
which
great.
was wild.
And
Um,
so for the listeners out there who've never been to Essen, I mean, this is not a go to Essen show. We'll have one of those at some other
no,
point. Maybe we'll get you back on for that too. But it's not really the same as Gen Con, right? It's more
no,
of a it's much more of a like a sell show than a play like sit and play show, and
I
it's
didn't
just
see anywhere to sit and play. People at
because there
Essen,
isn't anywhere to sit and play.
no. People come to, I mean, they do come to sit and play, but they're coming to play demos. So they're not
Hmm.
expecting to play the whole game. They're expecting to play a sample of the game and then move on. But the vibe is completely different. Gen Con feels frantic.
It is because it
Um,
is.
Essen is bigger
Hmm.
than Gen Con. And the hall, I think, oh God, how many halls were? I think there are 8 halls. There
Yeah,
were
and each
eight
of those
halls for
halls is
SETI.
like football field size. It's well
They
bigger
were
than football field
enormous. Yes,
size.
it took
They're huge.
me 15 minutes to walk from one end to the other when it wasn't busy,
Yeah,
and 3/4 of an hour
yeah.
once there were people in it, just to go from one end of the hall to the other.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was phenomenal. Um, but yeah, it's huge. It's sales focused, but it's for people who want to take their time to learn about the game. So it's not there's not quite so much of a feral like I have to get there energy. There is definitely the I have to get the hot game thing, but
Yeah.
it's not like Gen Con where it really felt like people were borderline Black Friday.
I I mean, that might be a cultural thing too, right?
Very much a cultural thing. Yes,
Hmm.
there was a very different vibe in general. It was really interesting
Because
actually.
if that happened in Canada, we'd all line up politely because
Yes,
that's just
and
what.
people do line up politely in
Yeah,
Europe as well.
yeah.
It's a different vibe, but it's yeah. Whereas UKGE, for example, also very busy, has a mix of both.
Hmm.
Um, in both cases, UKGE and Essen had a much lighter feel to them than any of the American conventions I've been to. The mood was lighter
Right. And
and
so,
more
where do you
relaxed.
think are you going to find yourself at different conventions around Europe now because of your location? Are you more
Yes,
so
yes.
hoping to be at like
Um,
UKGE and Essen
Yes, and I
and
think Drayer Ink
Nuremberg?
will have to take a little bit of a hiatus until we figure out exactly how we're going to do things because we're still waiting for the tariffs to stabilize to be able to publish BubbleNet.
Right, which is
Um,
still sitting there, right?
yes, and it's all ready to go. And, we've still got the funds that we're supposed to have and everything like that. We're just sitting there. We're just waiting for it to be safe because what we don't want is for another of these wild, like it got to 154%, I think, if I recall correctly. And
Yeah, well, I'm not sure
I'm
what the number was, but it was up there for sure.
I think it was either 145 or 154. I can't remember which way around it was because it doesn't matter. It's insane. And I know people who had boats on the water and who ended up paying that. And then the next week it dropped back down to like 30.
Yeah, and you can't it's not like at some stores. Some stores will like, they'll be kind and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we didn't let you guys know about the sale that's happening next week. We'll give you that. We'll reimburse you that money." Not the federal government. Apparently they don't they're not
Policy on
like
that one.
that. No. Yeah, and it's hard to make decisions. It's hard to project when you don't have good information, right? So,
Well, also, when we actually did the Kickstarter, there were no tariffs.
yeah.
So even a 10% tariff would have screwed us.
Yeah.
Like we had a margin to allow for changes
As you
in the
should.
shipping costs because we've seen what happened with the pandemic. But a 10% difference would have taken 100% of our profit basically
Yeah.
from most of the like that would have made it unviable as a business. That's 10%. And it's been sitting between 30 and, as I said, somewhere around 150 unreliably.
Yeah.
But being in Europe gives us a different opportunity as opposed to shipping everything into the States and paying tariffs on stuff we haven't sold, including, over and above the Kickstarter. We can warehouse it here and ship just what we need to the States. So we're not paying tariffs on things that we're not, recouping income on. So that is now that we are here, we've already had talks with some people to do that with over here to handle distribution. So.
And our future prints, there are a lot of places in the US, in the EU that print games.
Mm-hmm.
And because the main reason that we needed to print through China, apart from cost, was because BubbleNet requires neoprene mats.
Yeah.
But all of our future designs are cardboard.
Right.
So that's very easy to do here in Europe. Maybe even with, I don't know, the CGE factory may take orders from smaller businesses. Who knows?
Yep, all that stuff. All those things are good things. So, what else does the future hold for Drayer Ink and Kat and George and even Loki?
Well, in terms of, I guess, game design stuff,
I'm just looking forward to getting back to it without having all of these other things to manage. That just I don't know how other people are, but like, if I can't spend a solid chunk of time on something without distractions, I just don't get anything done.
You and me both, bro.
So putting like 15 minutes or 45 minutes into something twice a week is just not going to happen. So everything really has to be put on the shelf. But especially once our stuff arrives and gets put on the shelves, like that's pretty much the end of this process, and we have nothing else scheduled. Like we can decide to refocus or focus back on what we used to do.
Right.
Very much.
And now that the two of you are in the same time zone, right?
That was also a bonus, yes.
Yeah. Yes, because during this process, I left the US at the end of May, on the 26th of May. And George came to see me in Prague for 2 weeks in August. And then we saw each other again on the 26th of November. Apart from that, we haven't seen each other in that time. And that also really hits my ability to design, because I need the stability and I need my design partner.
Right. And because you guys usually run it where one person takes the lead and the other one's mostly doing development, right? And so it's like two halves of the whole together at last, like nuts and gum, together at last. So it's a Simpsons quote. So that's what the future holds. And Kat, you're going to be, hopefully working for CGU for as long as you can, and going to other cons and seeing other things. And so you've been since May, you were at UKGE, you were at Essen, and where else?
Tabletop Scotland.
Oh, Tabletop Scotland. Oh, how was that?
That was, it's neat, actually. It's one of those chill little conventions where more than half, so it's in a great big shed, and more than half of the space.
Great Big Shed really sounds like the name of my punk rock band.
I mean, it is. It's just a big shed. You can tell that they have like livestock shows and things there as well.
Okay, one of those. Okay, yeah, I got it.
But they had just
like an American fairground almost, like where they have agricultural fairs in America.
I suppose adjacent to, along those lines. It's not a fancy convention center.
Not at all.
It's just a big corrugated iron shed.
Yeah.
So it was cold, and it was Scotland, so it was cold. 2/3 of the building were open play, and the other third was booths. And I was helping out. So my friend Gareth has a charity called Farplace, and he designs games and sells them as part of the fundraiser for that. So I was demoing for him. So I was there as a volunteer. He just
not like the sci-fi show Fireplace.
No. But
that's
I think
Escape.
Yeah, that's
Farscape. That's Farscape. Something sounds weird here. It might be me.
Yeah, but he was kind enough to also. That's why I got to work at
Yeah.
UKG, because he basically got me a pass so that I could be there. And as you know, I donated my time as a volunteer because I'm not allowed to work in the UK.
Right.
I thought, well, I get to go to the show, I get to see what it's like to work it, and I get to help out an animal rescue. Why would I not do that? So that was super
Oh, very
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice, very nice. And then I think I guess the next question is what's going to happen at Meeple Syrup, right? Because with George and Kat, who have been the co-hosts of the show for I don't know how long now, a long time.
I think
Um
we're at 3 years.
Mm.
yeah, combined, right?
Yes.
Um that this is untenable. We have to break up the band because half or two-thirds of the band moved to Europe.
Sorry.
Fancy. That's okay. It's okay. And I mean, we could deal with the 3-hour time difference, but now it's like an 8-hour time difference. Well, it's a 5-hour, 6-hour time difference.
6 hours now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like
So,
nine
in the
hours
wrong
from where you
direction.
used to be, roughly, right? Um, so this is not very, very doable currently. Otherwise, we're gonna have the show in the middle of the day when like nobody will watch it because nobody will be here. And I think that Meeple Syrup being live is kind of the vibe that we've always had, and we like it that way. I don't think a pre-recorded thing will work for us necessarily. That doesn't mean so hey, here's a plan. Here's a plan. So going back to Luke's question about Meeple Syrup Europe, that actually kind of rhymes. Meeple Syrup Europe.
Yeah.
Or Europe syrup. Europe syrup. I don't know. We'll find a word for it later. Later, Luke. You can. You're a creative guy, Luke. You come up with a name for us. But we could do something that's not live, right? Where we get like George and Kat to record something, right? Where it might even be just like a 15-minute thing, like a news from Europe. Like you guys are like Kermit the Frog. Have like a news flash from Europe. Our European correspondents. That sounds fancy, guys. That sounds really fancy. So we could do something like that. I have been kind of putting some little feelers out in terms of a co-host here on this side of the pond. I don't know who yet. I don't know. It takes a special person to be a Meeple Syrup host. I think, in a way, in a good way, right? It's like it's
Oh,
a
it is.
person. It's a person who has to be able to like show their face on the camera and talk on camera and have some connectivity to the industry, and curiosity I think is one of the best things that George and Kat bring to the show. Is like they're curious about stuff, about how things are done, and I think that really is the key component. Because it's almost like a self insert for all the viewers, right? It's like there's got to be somebody here to ask those questions that somebody who's been like an industry veteran for like almost 20 years now just doesn't think to ask those questions anymore because it seems
Because you
experience
just
wise.
think people know that, right? It's
Yeah,
not
people
it's like,
know that stuff. And Kat, I remember Kat way back in the day would also always say, and for people who don't know what that means, and
yep.
then she'd say that thing, right? Which is great because, a lot of us would just go, shouldn't everybody know what that means? And no, not
Doesn't
everybody
everyone know what
does.
localization is?
No, right?
No.
And so exactly, but I learned that from you, Kat. I learned how to do that
Yay.
from Kat, and that was a great skill. Oh yeah, not everybody knows, so can we just explain that? Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we need a new host, and maybe later on, maybe Kat and George, if you have some ideas of people that you think would be a good fit, let me know. That would be helpful, and then I can reach out to them as well and see. Um,
But let us know in the comments if you know of someone that you think would be good.
yeah,
Um, ideally, not a straight white man, if we can do that,
yeah,
just for a little bit of representation. Um,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, because
Because
it's
that is a it's funny because I don't know if you saw Jeremy Howard's posts today. He was posting, it's kind of a not a rant, but just like thoughts on the industry and media in the industry. And he's like, a lot of reviewers, and this was nothing to do with about representation, but it was just a lot of people in the review side of content creation are either so positive that it doesn't
Yes.
really they're not really saying anything, or trying to be so unfiltered that it comes across really poorly.
Like
And
that, yeah, I saw that. Like they're trying to almost be like,
the
oh,
counterculture.
everyone's so positive, so I have to be a foil to this,
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than just being like genuinely who you are.
Yeah, they have to be like the anti-paladin to the paladin, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, yeah, and Meeple Syrup isn't that at all. Like, we're not a review show, so,
No.
we're unapologetically just curious about game design, right? And I
So
think
it's not
that's
an
the kind of people that
advertising thing.
you need
It's not a
to hear.
review thing. It's talking about
Yeah,
like what is interesting about this thing. What did I learn about this that other people might not know? What
yeah,
don't I know now? I
yeah, and
have this person in front of me. What can I ask them?
how can we
So
pass that
being
on
able
to more
yeah,
people, right? So yeah, if you're out there, future co-host, give me a ding-a-ling, or let Kat and George know, and they can let me know that you want to be a part of the show in some way. People out there watching, if you think that you or somebody might be a good fit, let me know. That'd be awesome. Um, and so yeah, the future, I think, uh, it's gonna be roughly the same. I actually have to look at my class schedule because I think I have Mondays and Tuesdays off, and well, off is like I'm marking from home in January, February, March, and April. And then I think I have like 3 days of like 7 hours of class a day. So we'll see what time that 7 hours ends. But I'm pretty sure it ends. The latest a college is open is 8. So all classes end at 8. So that's why the show always starts at 9. So that is why it is like it is. So it'll probably still have to be that way, whether it's Wednesday always. It's been Wednesday for like maybe 10 years now. I think we've been on air for a very long time,
mm,
doing stuff. So yeah, I'd like to, like Kat said, get more representation, um, get some other voices in. Oh, that's what I was going to say, is that Meeple Syrup has a very pronounced mandate, actually, like to raise profiles and representation of the industry through a visual media, right? Which is very different than a podcast, which is very different than something where you don't get to see the face of the person, or where you can like very easily bypass the face of the person, like you don't even look at it. But if you're watching Maple Syrup, you kind of have to look at our faces because we're always on air. We're a bunch of talking heads, right? So anyway, and then maybe some ideas to exploit the visual media a little bit better. We try every now and then, with the Cell Sheet show was great, and stuff like that, which show prototyping techniques would be good. So, anyways, if you have any ideas, anybody shoot them at us. We're looking for your ideas, what you want to see. So that's what I think the future is holding for the Meeple Syrup show. Kat and George, what do you think the future holds for you guys? We talked a little bit about Drayer Ink and getting back into design, but what else? What else is there now that you're in like Europe, in the actual EU? What can happen that's different?
I mean, there's going to be a fair bit of it just exploring what this place is, because I had never been here before.
to
Right.
Europe.
Yes,
Full stop.
yeah. So this is all new to me.
Hmm. Where
Yeah,
yeah. Whereas
like,
Kat, you are even more well traveled than Loki.
I mean, I grew up in Belgium and Switzerland,
Yeah.
but I haven't been to this part of Europe at all.
Right.
When I was growing up, this was sort of grayed out on the map, if you like. Like this
Right,
whole
because
area was
yeah,
not
this
about.
that so that was part of like the communist regime, right? So
Yes,
it was
yeah.
very much other side.
Well, one, it was Czechoslovakia, but two, there
Yeah.
was a literal wall,
Yeah.
so we couldn't come here.
Yeah.
So for me, that's really interesting and exciting.
Hmm.
One thing that I really enjoyed in Edinburgh was because I was there entirely alone. One of the things that I did quite a bit was I just took little day tours at the weekends, and they're
Right.
not terribly expensive. They're like £50 or £60 or something. And yes, I understand that is still a lot of money in some ways,
Yep.
but for a tour, that's pretty sweet. You get in a
Mhm.
van, they take you out, they show you some stuff, they bundle you back in the van, and you come home and you've seen some of the country.
And sometimes it also includes a meal, so
Yes,
yeah,
sometimes in these cases it didn't, but
yeah,
it can. A lot of those can include those things,
like a
and
local meal or something.
so we'll be doing stuff like that. We'll be obviously exploring Prague itself, which
Yeah.
is there's I have deliberately, to avoid spoilers, not done any of the things. So I haven't
Oh,
been to Prague Castle. I haven't been to the Charles Bridge. I
so
haven't
you
been
you've
to the
basically just
Clock.
like
I've been like la 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 la.
sequestered yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so that we can explore them together. And
Yeah.
then, of course, there are so many small and large game related cool things for us to do here. There are
Mhm.
a lot of game cafes. We found one that does playtesting.
Right.
So we're
Great.
going to join that once we can. And yeah,
Yeah, and there's a lot of, small localized game communities, and because a lot of, you know, while European countries are very close to each other, they typically speak different languages, right? So,
Yes.
and of course, universal language and all that, but a lot of times they'll have their own game design community because they need to,
yes,
right? It's not like these are countries that are geographically closer than, Seattle is to the other
Portland.
Washington, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but because they don't speak the same languages, they need to have their own independent, game groups. So that's a way to get in there. Yeah, cool. Quick, 1 second. Oh yeah, Luke is just saying that he's seen some clickbaity titles yet or lately, and he's not a fan of those in like review media. Mistaki. Oh yeah, so Mistaki's saying for suggestions for people to co-host, are there limits on if the person is a part of other media forms like podcasts? No.
No,
I'm also
Rebology.
part of other podcasts, so no.
Yeah, and a
If you know
podcast.
somebody who has the time and the wherewithal and wants to do something like this, and yeah, so that's the other thing. It is a regular gig, right? It's like
Yeah,
every Wednesday night. This is what we do.
and it's not
Sometimes,
paid.
yeah,
In
it's not a
case
paid
anyone's
thing,
asking, this is not
right?
paid. This is
No,
volunteer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Kat can't be here, or George can't be here. Sometimes I can't be here, and we have to figure out how do we do that. But we have an audience, and we have people that like to see us every week. And like Luke was emailing me saying, "When are you guys coming back, dude?" It's been 4 weeks. You guys got to come back. I said, "Yeah, we're coming back." But yes, if they want to come on now, that's an interesting question. So, both Kat and George, what do you think being part of the Meeple Syrup community and being co-hosts on the show has done for you, if anything?
I mean, it's really obvious what it's done for me because
Mm.
I went from being reasonably unknown, like I was known in the board game online communities and Facebook and things like that because I joined in a lot there, to knowing a great deal of the industry, just like personally on a first name basis, hey, how you doing, kind of stuff, which has been amazing at conventions because I'm never on my own at a convention, to getting my job at CGE. Like that is a direct
Hmm.
result of Meeple Syrup because Meeple Syrup got me able to go to the gathering, which is where I was able to meet people from CGE and say hi, looking for a job, and playtest Wispwood and things like that, and be part of that whole process. So it's been enormous for me. It's also taught me how to react quickly with live shows where you need to be able to problem solve, but also you just need to understand you can't plan it. You just have to go with it and just
Hmm.
have some ideas, but
Yeah,
basically
like
you
when
got
your
to go
intro
with
doesn't
whatever your
play because
guest
you
is
didn't
doing.
press a button.
Yeah. Or like when your guest goes off script and you're like, oh, actually this is interesting though. Hell, let's just go with it. Let's see where
Right?
it goes.
It's a live show. I love it.
Yeah,
Are
that's
you both planning on coming back to the gathering from Europe?
We have our tickets. We
yeah,
will see how things look.
yeah.
Um, but yes, we are booked for it, and
Okay.
we have a hotel reservation. So we certainly, that is the plan. But we'll see what the world looks like.
I still haven't booked or anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I'm
understand.
We
still,
we
yeah.
booked at the time and then things got weird.
Yeah.
Like weirder,
Weirder, right?
weirder,
Yes.
like to the point where it was like, okay, so yeah. I am
Yeah.
not going to any other American conventions. So CGE does go to American conventions, and they fly from. There's a US group, and there are also people who fly from the Czech Republic and from
Yeah.
Greece to go there for conventions. But that won't be me.
Right.
That's not part of my role as well. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, hey Chris Anthony, how are you? And Luke is laughing at my joke about something. I can't remember what I joked about. I called Luke out for something. Oh, for
Oh,
emailing
for
me
the
and
emails.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's okay. You can email me. That is totally fine. I won't call you out on live chat. It's all good. Okay, so that's what it looks like, everybody. We are searching for a co-host. This is George and Kat's farewell show. We might have them back in some shape or form, doing little things here and there. Like I think the European correspondent thing is kind of cool. We should talk about that. And once you
Yeah.
guys get a little more settled, at least definitely have you back for shows every now and then, like pre-Essen or post-Essen or something like that. Maybe that's what we'll do. Just to start it off. But don't feel beholden, obviously, to anything. Other than that, let's see where we are. If you want to chat with me, you can find me on Blue Sky at all the things. Drayer Ink, where Blue Sky at all the things. Well, yes, on your computer, your phone, and your tablet, sure, right. But on Blue Sky, just find me on Blue Sky. And Drayer Ink is it on all the things?
We're on most of the things. Yes. We're not on
Yeah,
the Bird app.
yeah, not on the expert app. And then you can find Meeple Syrup everywhere. That's fine. If you want to help keep the lights on, patreon.com/Meeple Syrup. Again, like Kat said, this is not a paid gig. We do this for fun.
Yep.
But it's definitely something that I think hopefully helps other people and helps us. I learned so much from talking to people. George instituted a thing. I don't did you know this, Kat? That George said, oh, we should do shout outs at the end.
Oh,
So I have a thing here, George. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out?
Oh wow, I am woefully unprepared.
It is 4 a.m., so it's
it
okay.
is. Yeah.
Just everyone who has been helpful. I mean, this is not a particular, but who's helped us get here. Um, Thank you. I mean, we this was a lot of work for us, but we definitely couldn't have done it without the people who helped support us and
Hmm.
people who came over to my house and helped me pack, or just kept each of us sane in our own when we've been isolated for so long. And yeah, so thank you to the gaming community and just the people who have been around us. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Well, in
And
that case, I have one.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
So I would like to shout out to Clara, Lea, and Paya in particular at CGE who helped support me through the process. Oh, and Zuzka, damn it, um, who basically were part of the way that I was able to go from may I please work with you to working remotely, being very distracted, dealing with all of the chaos of having to move back and forth and all that sort of thing. And I know it made their jobs more difficult a lot of the time, actually, basically everyone at CGE, but particularly Clara, who is my counterpart in my role, had to train me remotely while I was busy going, what am I going to do about this visa and everything like that. So thank you so much. And obviously to all our friends who helped George with the move and who are supporting us now in Prague.
There you go. And Luke says that he's going to miss you too. This has been a great resource for an amateur designer finding their way. And Luke actually was on the show, right? Because Kat said you should have Luke on the show. We should have Luke on the show, and so we're like, yeah, let's get him on. And that was super
Yep.
interesting.
Thank you for
So
your engagement, Luke.
Yes.
It's been
yeah,
noticed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, we love it. I always look forward to Luke's comments; they're always very insightful. So next week, everybody, I don't know what we're doing yet. I haven't really planned beyond like today. I've been basically this term has been horrible. So I'm basically living like a day at a time. Like it's like, what am I doing tomorrow? Okay, that's all that I can fit in my brain. And there's reasons, but we'll talk about them some other
Oh,
time, not
I have
today.
a topic for you then, Sen.
Oh, cool. What's
We
it gonna
talk
be?
about thematic game design because of the time of year.
Oh, yeah, cool. We can do that. Yeah, that's good. Maybe I'll see if Chris Porter might be available. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. There's definitely a whole bunch of Christmas games, and Jordan Goddard, who is doing the games that are inside of the ornaments.
Oh yeah,
We did
yep.
an episode with him for Ludology already, so that was out on like last not 2 weeks ago. So if you listen to Ludology and are caught up, that should be the next one on your hit list. And then there's one this week that I put up on Sunday about a new TTRPG that was on Kickstarter called Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, which is kind of imagine Richard Scarry mixed with Dexter.
Okay.
So it's like serial killing anthropomorphic animals. Anyways, there you go. But yes, Christmas games or holiday games would be very helpful. A good thing to talk about because it's a good theme. It's an interesting theme. All
There's
right.
Hanukkah as well, and there are a bunch of other things that
Yeah.
happen around. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. Lots and lots and lots. It's not just Christmas, right? And oh hey, you guys get to do the final advice.
Okay. What do you
Of
want me
course.
to?
Nope. I'll go ahead.
Cool.
Be curious.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've learned. You know, what with this, what I've gotten out of my time on the show is it forced me to think about what I want to think about, and I think it's an important thing to do for yourself. Don't get stuck thinking that you know everything, or even if you're not that sort of person, entertain the idea that there might be something like, you know, what would I want to explore this week, and just throw a dart at the wall. Maybe not actually throw a dart at a wall, but you know, metaphorically, don't
A
throw things.
metaphorical dart. Throw
Yes,
that at a metaphorical wall.
explore something that you wouldn't otherwise be inclined to explore.
Like Prague.
I mean, we had never been to Prague and
Yeah.
decided to move here, so yeah,
I
that.
thought that was the weirdest thing ever. Like I could never do that. That is
Yeah,
way too
we did
adventurous.
a check, and people told me it was really hard, and I was like, right, challenge accepted. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't know who you're talking to.
Fantastic. We love it. But
Yeah.
so my advice off the back of that would be brave. So being curious is great, and a lot of the time though, people will have questions and they think, oh no, that's a dumb question, or no one wants to ask that, or no one wants. No, the reason that I often say things like, and what does that mean, even when I know the answer, is because if the question occurs to me, even if I know the answer, there's definitely someone out there quietly wondering what the answer is and not asking.
Mhm.
So every time you ask the question, even if you know the answer, you are enabling someone else to learn. And if you don't know the answer, being brave and asking the question still will help other people and you get to learn stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
you can't lose asking questions and finding out stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
not in this
you're
world.
never
Not
going
in
to
this
stop learning.
not in this portion of the world anyways, right? In this industry, I think asking questions is sometimes because it's such a it's almost an oral tradition. Like I know there's, books and stuff and websites and videos and things like that, but it's still quite the oral tradition of how a game is designed and made and produced and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, ask questions, find yourself, a voice that or a mentor or a group or even better, I think multiple people, whether it's a forum, whether it's, a show that you watch, find somebody that you click with and that you enjoy engaging with and ask questions, always ask questions. I think it's a great way to learn. All right, everybody, that is it for today. It is 4:03 a.m. in well, in most of Europe.
Continental Europe,
Yeah,
most of
continental
continental
Europe.
Europe. Yep.
So we are going to let George and Kat and Loki go to bed. And we'll see you guys here next week. And I'll take up that challenge that Kat gave me to talk about thematic games in relations to the holidays and things like that. And we'll go find somebody to talk to. And if you have notes for me, let me know. We'll see you guys later. Good night.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Nasledano.
Ooh.